Estaron con de anetcomputers.com with the goddamn fucking noise pollution from these fucking weirdos in America. I mean, otro video para ti hoy. I have a Onkyo CX70 receiver that I received, pun intended, today, and I thought I'd mess around and test it out. I normally don't get audio equipment recycled, but I received a television and the individual had a receiver, and so I was like, why not? I accept any kind of electronics except for the old tube style televisions, the old cathode ray tubes that are dangerous. They have mercury in them. I wouldn't fuck with them. They have, I know the, what do they call those clowns? Anyways, I don't want to digress. I don't want to make this video too long, so let's cut to the chase. So this is an Onkyo CX70. I think it was manufactured somewhere around 1981, so it's quite old. Originally, I thought maybe this was a 20-year-old receiver, but it's actually older than that. It's pushing 80 years old. It's fucking immensely heavy. It's probably 30 pounds at least. And so I just want to quickly show you. It's a really nice receiver, but it's extremely fucking heavy. Okay, let me show you the back. Oh my god. It is so fucking heavy. Okay, I just want to show you what we're dealing with here. So let me go over what it does have really quickly. Power button, obviously. It has a cassette deck. It has a tape cassette. And the door isn't opening. Why isn't it? I'm not sure why it's not opening. There it goes. It does work. I think it's just because the way it's sitting, it's not sitting. So it's got a tape cassette, for one tape. I tested all the buttons, they work. And okay, now you can turn the unit off and the cassette will open up. Come on. It worked earlier. Anyways. Well, there it goes. Maybe it's stuck now. That screw looks a little bit loose, but I don't think that would make a difference. I don't know, I might have to take a look at that. It was working just fine. Alright, enough with the cassette. Cassette, record, rewind, play, fast forward, stop, timer, pause. It has tape select, high, metal, normal, Dolby, in or out, and it actually has 1/4-inch microphone jack so you can record with this. I don't have any tape cassettes, that's older school technology. It also has a 1/4-inch headphone jack so you can listen with headphones. I do have some of those, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. And then it has mic level, bass, treble, balance, loudness, on or off, source or cassette, tuner or phono, and then also FM or AM. Now, not all the lights work. So you turn it on over here. It's on now, but there's supposed to be a green light. Where the power, you can't see that. There should be, you see above the buttons, where I'm above it, should be green light. Below it, red light. And even with these over here, none of the green buttons, which are the LEDs above, work. So I noticed that right away, but the receiver I think still does work, and so I'm going to test it. Anything else I want to go over? It has tuning for AM and FM. It has a volume knob, and pretty nice. It's very nice. It's extremely heavy. Mostly, I would say, aluminum and steel. Very little plastic on this device, this electronics. Onkyo CX70. The back has, let's see, it has RCA jacks for 2 speakers, and it has straight through raw, what I would call straight through connectors. You literally just take straight speaker wire and connect it, not RCA or anything else. 4 of those for and then positive and negative, so 2 speakers, 2 RCA, 2 straight through speaker wire connectors. It also has a built-in antenna. It has an external antenna connector for AM and FM, and I think 2 different FM external connectors, one 75 ohms and the other 300 ohms, and then just a standard AM antenna, which I have one. I'll show you one. I have an older school one. I have this Turk tower. It's an antenna. I took it apart. It's just copper. Copper is excellent conductor, so copper is good for antennas. But you don't have to use copper for antennas, but it's just a piece of antenna, of copper inside here, basically. Now, it has a straight through connector. This is what I'm talking about. This is just what I consider raw, straight through speaker wire connector. And then you would connect this antenna to the rear with just this right here. And so I haven't tested this antenna. I don't know. Maybe I'll make a video testing this antenna. It powers on, I know that. See, I took it apart. You notice how it's not real. Anyways, I don't want to talk about this older antenna. I saw one individual make a video about these Turk towers, and he wasn't really impressed. It didn't really improve his reception much. But anyways, so I have this jankety speaker that I think came out of an LCD television that didn't work. I can't remember where I got this speaker. I had 2 of these, and I think I tried to solder. See, it's coming loose, but I just wired it for this video. I need to solder it, and when I tried to solder, I'm not a very good solderer. I'm not very good at soldering. I know how to do it, but I'm not really good at it. Not yet. I'm not really proficient. And I think I don't know. I don't know. Something happened to that speaker. You know what? When I moved offices, I might have damaged it, and I just threw it away. But this is just, I kept it as, just a test. Alright, now, so I'm going to connect it positive, negative, and we'll test this guy out. So let me turn off the power first. And let me show you the connectors that I'm talking about really quick. Some connectors are push. The older school straight through cable connectors are like push type, where these you loosen. And these I tried to fix. You notice how they lean down a little bit? I could not fix them. I took this cover off, and I took this panel off, and this moves in. It doesn't come out this way. I don't know why, but anyways, I could not. I even try to snap it up, and they don't stay permanently. So, but I couldn't fix them. These, you just take the straight speaker wire, and then here, I'll just try to do it while I'm doing it now. Now, some of the older school speaker connectors where you just take the straight speaker cable, you push in on a piece of plastic, would be up like where my thumb is. You push in on that, it's got a release, and then you put in the speaker cable, and then you let go of the release, and then the speaker cable is tight. This is a different way of doing it. You just wind it around, and then you tighten around it. Now, let me adjust it so that this does not fall, because this fucker is heavy. I would say it's at least 30 pounds. I would say 30 pounds, this receiver. Now, these are different type of speaker type connectors. They must have been in some kind of a sleeve. I'm trying to think of a sleeve. These are almost like computer type of a connector where you go into a sleeve And then, anyways, I don't want to digress about that. But this is good enough. So positive and negative. So white will be positive, which will be red. And I'm just going to stick it down right in there just for testing. And I'm going to loosen it up a little bit. And then I'm going to tighten it. Let's see. Is that good enough? That should be good enough. Let me move it a little bit. Yeah, that should be good enough. That should be a good enough connection. Now, normally what you would do is you would have speaker, let me undo this really quick. You would have straight speaker cable like this. Come on. And then what you would do, it would be longer. You would probably want a longer thread. And you would just wind it around once or twice and then tighten it. And then that's it. Now the other types are, like I said before, there's a release. You push in, release the release, let go of the release, and then it's tight. Okay, so that's tight enough, and then we'll do the negative and loosen that up. Again, this is just for testing, so it doesn't have to be perfect, and that's not how I would normally connect them permanently. I would thread the wire and make it long enough probably to twist around once or twice. Anyways, that's it. And then so let me show you it. Now it has a 120 volt external jack here, a plug. So I could plug in another electronic device that doesn't have the ground plug and power it. So that I thought that was very interesting. It's got 4 of these older school straight through speaker connectors, so you can only have 2 speakers, left and the right, because there's positive and negative connectors. Then you have antenna. You have an antenna ground connector with a little loosen and tighten. Then you have a 75 ohm external antenna for FM band, and then you have 300 ohm FM band external antenna connector. Now these are the same, they just loosen, and then you take the straight through cable, wind it around, and then tighten it. This last one is the AM external antenna connector, and I think this is an antenna, but look at the way I don't think it's got this half of a circle or a full circle, and then there's a missing, I don't know if there's a missing plastic piece, or if you notice this is kind of round. I think it's supposed to maybe, I couldn't get it stuck in there, so I don't know if this broke off. I'm assuming this is some kind of an antenna. That's the only thing I can think of. But I want to try to sell this receiver, and you see how it just came off now? So I don't know what happened here. I'm going to try to figure it out. The only thing I can think of, this is like an antenna that kind of like is supposed to sit like this, and maybe it's supposed to sit inside there, and it popped out. I couldn't figure out how to, I don't want to break this plastic. I couldn't figure out how to take this apart, so I think I'll try to research that, and maybe it's supposed to just rotate like like an antenna would. Then it has 2 RCA jacks down here, and then that's it. So I've got the speakers connected, and I have to worry about this fucking antenna that is loose. So let me rotate this around, and we'll test this receiver. The one I found a listing. I have a blog post. Click on the link in the description box below. That'll take you to my blog post on my website, anitcomputers.com, where I have a full write-up on this receiver if you're interested in old school electronics. I found one like listing on a website called, what was it? It's in my blog post here. I don't have a picture yet for my blog post, but I do have it all written now. It was a museum, and I'm pretty sure I linked to it, or I need to link to it. And I am, let's see. Here, I'll just type it in real quick. Radiomuseum.org. I need to fix that link. Well, I now embed my YouTube videos inside my blog post, so I have to go back and edit this blog post, and I need to upload a photo, a decent photo of the receiver for my blog post, because you can get traffic from photos and blah 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 blah. So radiomuseum.org, there was an entry stating that these were manufactured in 1981, so this could be that old. It would be pushing now 4 decades. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get back to the end of this video, because I don't want to make this video too long. All right, so I got the speaker hooked up. Now I'm going to power it on, and I could hear it click. Now, like I said before, none of the green power lights work on the top row. Well, except some of them do, but not all of them. The power light doesn't light up like it should. But so it's now I see, you can hear some static. I selected AM, and then I'm gonna I don't want to. This is a 6 ohm speaker, and the receiver, I think on the back, I think it says the connectors for the speakers are 8 ohms, so it's not exactly matched. And the receiver has a 150 watt amplifier, so I don't it does have a loudness button, so I'm not going to use the loudness button, because let me make yeah, I don't need the loudness button on, and I could probably easily blow the speaker. So let me tune it. It's on the AM band. We should pick up a station. You should be able to hear that static. Maybe I have to hook up my external antenna. Well, it's not getting anything. Let's try FM. I think that's at the end. The dial, there it is. Okay, so that works there.
Let's talk about some premium trios like 3-piece suits and 3D.
All right, well, I don't want to get a copyright strike. I don't want to get a copyright strike. So it works. It's just one speaker, mono. Actually, it sounds really good. Well, you know what I mean. I'm not sure how much this was manufactured in Japan. Japanese, they make excellent electronics even nowadays. They always have, at least to me, man. I don't care what nation state you're from. I'm not a nationalist. I don't give a shit about that crap. All right, so now let's see if I can get the AM band to work. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe I didn't have the... Oh, that was... Wait a minute, that was AM. Is that right? Me. That is interesting. It's on the FM band right now. Let me put... Yeah. Let's go back. It's got a manual tuning, obviously. The antenna should still, you know... Okay. I think it's at the end now. Now it's on FM. I hear very little. There it is. Okay, we got it channel. The tuner isn't the best. Now that channel faded. I don't know what happened to it. the problem is that the tuning doesn't really light up, and I can't really look at it the way I have the camera. Let's try this. Let's go all the way. There we go. Okay, maybe I'm going too fast, too impatient. So there's an FM station.
Don't miss your chance to see Tom Watson, Fred Couples, David.
Wow, it's really sensitive. Like, either it could be me, I'm too impatient, but I turn the knob and it goes past the channel. So maybe it's a really sensitive tuning knob. I don't know, man. So we'll try to just slow. Okay, I think I'm almost done. Okay, now let's turn the AM and see. We can go back the other way. It might need an external antenna because, yeah, that broke off a little bit. So let me see. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna power it off, and I'm gonna try to quickly hook up this external antenna. So it's set at AM. Leave it there, and I'm gonna turn the power off. And it's already got the straight through speaker wire. I've got the antenna plugged in, and I'm gonna just connect it really quick in the back, and we'll see if that'll improve. I'm thinking maybe that antenna, it looks like one of the wires is broken off, but that can't be the only wire. I mean, that one, it still works, but I don't know. Or maybe that's just, I don't know, that's a jankety antenna, or I don't know. Could be something wrong with that antenna. Alright, so here's straight through speaker wire, and I just have to hook up one in the back. Okay, make sure this antenna's on. It's got the green light. I wasn't going to include this in my test, but I just thought, and it does have a switch here. I'm not sure what this is for. This moves, but I'm not sure exactly what it does. So, let's see, 1, 2, 3. How about 1.5? Because I don't know what the fuck it does. Alright, now we'll turn it on. And turn up the volume a little bit. See if that this antenna requires power, obviously, but it's got an AC adapter. Well, this isn't turning out, like, pun intended, like I thought it would. That's at the end.
So you see what I can do.
Wow. That picked up 2, 3. Look at that. Wow, look at that. Look at all those channels it's picking up now. Wow. Oh, you know what? Maybe... Let me think. No, that's on FM. I hooked it up to the AM external antenna connector, but it's picking up all these FM channels now. Weird. But now if I... It's on AM. It's pressed, the button's pressed in, the red light is on for AM. All of those music channels are going to be FM. And yet it's not picking up anything. Alright, well, I need to run. You know what? Like a dumbass, I forgot there's a ground. There's a ground connector on the back of the receiver, and then there's an antenna connector. So I'm going to assume that the one with the white stripe is live, and then the just without the stripe is ground. So let me hook up the fucking ground. Okay, I just want to make sure they were on there tight, not loose. So let's try it again. There's a lot of static, but I could only get one channel in. Before. Thinking I might have to rewire the internal antenna, but I've connected it. Is there a button for the antenna? Let me think. Maybe you have to press a button in order to tell it to use the external antenna. Balance. No, I don't see a button. I don't see anything to tell it what antenna to use. So I think it's that internal antenna. I think I might have to rewire it and get it installed correctly. But it did pick up a bunch of fucking FM stations. So I'm just hesitant on selling something if it doesn't Yeah, I know all the... I would sell it if it receives AM and FM stations. But it's just... I don't know why it's not really picking up any AM stations now. Yeah, I just have the... Can you see that? There's the... Look at the external antenna now. I tried to take it apart and it's got... Looks like that's metal and that's a bunch of copper. And now you notice that that little small cable right there is broke. That's all... Maybe that's all it takes. So I might have to rewire this antenna and get it installed correctly. But it should use the external antenna for AM. I'm pretty sure these Turks, I think, let me think. I thought that these Turks were dual purpose. I thought you could use them for AM and FM. Anyways, that's my video. The receiver works, but I don't know if I want to try to sell it if the if the AM band isn't working. But if I can get the external antenna fixed and it picks up channels, I'll try to sell it locally, and who knows how much I'll get for it. Or I guess I could keep it as a museum piece or a test unit. I don't have any cassettes to test. Adios!